Sir, you don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens.
In just an absolutely wild story and one of the clearest examples of Trump's fascist state yet, New York City mayoral candidate Brad Lander, also the city's controller, was arrested by masked federal agents while inside of an immigration court for people that he was standing up for. To be clear, Brad Lander is a U.S. citizen, U.S. born, and he was snatched up by masked federal agents for trying to defend them while asking for a judicial warrant. So I'll get to more details of the story. Each detail progressively gets more insane. You're going to hear what was overheard leading up to the arrest and the statement from what the officials, the ICE agents, are saying in defense of the arrest. So I'll get to that. First, here is the video of what happened. This was shared on Twitter by journalist Dean Moses.
Where is the warrant?
I have it in my hand here.
I would like to see the warrant. I would like to see the warrant, and then I will let go. I would like to see the warrant, and then I will let go. Take him in. Take him in. Take him in. Take him in. Let's go. You don't have the authority. You don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens. Sir, you don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens. You don't have the. I'm not obstructing. I'm standing right here in the hallway. I asked to see the judicial warrant. By asking for a judicial warrant, you don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens asking for a judicial warrant.
We go too. Sorry. No way. I'm safe. Where are you taking him? Hello?
Since you have no authority to arrest U.S. citizens, where are you taking me? And with what authority?
Why are you arresting
With what authority?
And where are you taking him? No!
Security details. Number one is going to go with him, all right?
Just a completely insane video. You just watched what happened. He didn't do anything. They arrested him for simply being there to stand up for immigrants at an immigration court. Now, I'm going to get to some more details and what they claim. And again, you watched the video, you saw what happened. What they claim is a complete, an obvious lie. Before I get there, just some of the images coming out of this are wild. Shannon Watts sharing this. ICE is the new American Gestapo. No one is safe. So the city has a really good report on this. This is a New York-based website. A reporter from the city had overheard one agent say to another minutes before Lander's arrest, quote, "Do you want to arrest the controller?" They decided on a whim. We have so much power, we get away with whatever the hell we want. Hey, do you want to arrest this guy who's standing up for these immigrants? And then they went on to arrest him. Now, this is their defense. I laughed out loud reading this. Quote, "The New York City controller, Brad Lander, was arrested for assaulting law enforcement and impeding a federal officer." Is that what you saw in that video? Brad Lander assaulting law enforcement? Our heroic ICE law enforcement officers, who are such cowards that they have to cover their face a 413% increase in assaults against them. Oh, poor angels. It is wrong that politicians seeking higher office undermine law enforcement safety to get a viral moment. Why are they at immigration court? This used to not be a thing. This didn't make headlines. Immigration court didn't make headlines. These are people going to their meetings. And now ICE agents are targeting them to arrest people. No one is above the law. And if you lay a hand on a law enforcement officer, you will face consequences. Just the saddest bunch of children. It is remarkable the absolute bullshit they are trying to claim here and how they are defending their sweet, sweet little babies. So the city goes on to write, Lander was making his third trip to accompany immigrants attending court hearings over the last month as federal agents, often masked, have begun staking out courtrooms to detain people, leaving what had been routine hearings. He's the only mayoral candidate who's done so. So all the credit in the world to Brad Lander for standing up for these people, and now he's a target. Chris Person shared this, which I did not catch. So one of the agents, I guess the one who was not wearing a mask, was wearing this T-shirt that translates to, "If you want peace, prepare for war." What's the argument against this being the Gestapo? Here is Brad Lander's wife after he was arrested.
The hallways are full of volunteers, amazing volunteers standing up for people, and of ICE agents and other agents that are not, their affiliations not indicated. They're in full regalia. They have masks, many times pulled up to the bridge of their nose. And it is a place of intimidation. It is a place of fear. It is not, I mean, we are standing near the courts and the other things. This is not a way we do with rule of law. This is not the way people are treated in the United States. And so I feel really rattled and scared. And my husband is a candidate for mayor, is an elected citywide official, is a U.S. citizen, has a U.S. passport, and I know in all likelihood he's going to be okay. And all of the other folks in that building are risking having their families torn apart with inadequate explanation, and it's an abomination, and it is not what we stand for in this country. It is not right.
Credit there to Brad Lander's wife, Meg Barnett, for using a lot of her time as she was speaking to cameras, focusing on the people being targeted, the immigrants being targeted unjustifiably. But she mentioned something really important there. A lot of the agents aren't identifiable. They're just wearing jeans and a shirt. I mean, you saw the shirt I showed you earlier. They're masks. They could be anybody. Just going up and saying, "Hey, we're arresting you." They could literally be anybody. And this is in many situations where these agents are showing up with unmarked vehicles, unmarked clothing, wearing masks. Who's to say who they even are? So this goes to what Meg Barnett was mentioning there, the level of intimidation that is on display from people who you can't even identify if they were to arrest you, who they actually are. But I want to share this as well from Zoran Mamdani, who has cross-endorsed, him and Brad Lander have cross-endorsed each other because it is a ranked ballot. He goes on to say here on Twitter, New York City Comptroller Brad Lander was just arrested by Trump's ICE agents because he asked to see a judicial warrant. This is fascism, and all New Yorkers must speak in one voice. Release him now.
That in his ask and in their response, we saw that ICE has no interest in the law. It has no interest in order. It only has an interest in terrorizing people across this country. And in this exact moment, New Yorkers and Americans are looking to leaders to meet this moment, to showcase the courage that is necessary, the stark contrast from the collaboration and the cowardice we have seen. And what Brad did was engage in that very moment of courage. He showed us what leadership can look like. And for that, he was arrested. And we have to be clear about this. This is not about an election. This is about ensuring that we protect the city and the country that we love.
And credit to Gwen Hogan for her piece, both in the city and for sharing that clip on Blue Sky. I think it's important now more than ever to support independent media, support independent journalists that are giving you the full story, that are on the ground, telling you what is going on. That is the only way I am able to do commentary covering this kind of thing, is because the actual journalists are on the ground telling you what is happening. So, as Zoran Mamdani points out, this is really a moment where we're seeing the separation between true leadership and everybody else. People like Brad Lander standing up for immigrants in immigration court. Zoran Mamdani has been consistently calling out Donald Trump and his police. On the other hand, you have people like Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, who are practically nowhere to be seen.